You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Feel like who art Ed?
We'll try to spice it.
Who art Ed? Mr. Wood art Ed me.
Good. Either way, it's ambiguous. It works on so many levels.
I know.
That's off to a great start.
Welcome to Who Arted, where we explore visual arts in an audio medium. I'm your host, Kyle Wood, and today I have a mini bonus episode about my annual Arts Madness tournament. I started making the tournament a few years ago in my classroom. Honestly, it was kind of a whim, just trying to tap into the excitement over March Madness, but it has been wonderful to see it growing over the years as art teachers and their students around the U.S. and now listeners around the world weigh in to narrow the field from 64 down to one ultimate artist. Each week, you can vote for your favorite artists at whoartedpodcast.com/vote. This week, we have 64 diverse artists, but just one simple question for each matchup. Which is better? You decide what makes one artwork better than another. Is it about the craftsmanship, the accurate rendering of people, places, and things? Is it about the mood created in a work or the ideas behind it? Every week, the field will be cut in half, but for this round, we have 32 matchups. The brackets were sorted randomly, but every year I find some interesting pairings. For example, this year in round one, we have Pablo Picasso up against Raphael. Picasso famously said it took him 2 years to learn to paint like Raphael, but his whole life to learn how to paint like a child. I'll be interested to see if Picasso can beat the artist to whom he compared himself. Another fun coincidence, I noticed that in the matchups between Burton Morris and Chuck Close, I had my buddy Chuck Hoff as the guest discussing both of them. Along similar lines, Frank Lloyd Wright is matched up against Christo and Jean-Claude, which really feels to me like a proxy war of Bogats versus Bogats, as Tim Bogats from the Art of Education University and host of Art Ed Radio was my guest on the episodes for both Wright and Christo and Jean-Claude. I guess we'll see where he made the most compelling case for an artist as the votes come in. Now, I don't want to sway any votes, but I noticed that Cause and Matt Groening happen to both be in the same bracket. So it'll be interesting to see if they both advance and eventually have to face each other, as Cause is famous for making parodies of Groening's work. Now, those are just a few of the matchups I'm looking forward to seeing in round one. You can go to whoartedpodcast.com/vote to find links to the brackets, weigh in on all the different matchups, and if you haven't picked your favorite yet, you can still fill out the prediction form for a chance to win a prize at the end of the tournament. This concludes this week's episode of Who Arted, part of the Airwave Media Podcast Network. If you found this tolerable, please leave a rating or review on your favorite podcast app. You can find images of the work being discussed this week and every week on social media at Who Arted Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and of course on the website whoartedpodcast.com. Podcast done.